Mark Twain once said, the difference between a word and just the right word is the difference between lightning and lightning bug. Let me use an example. When you use words, remember they have different meanings to different people. It isn't just the word itself. Sometimes it's the context. And many times it's the delivery. Let's take a look at a word that, well, is pretty easy to define. Hand. All right? Now, a hand is attached to your body, has 5 fingers. There's no mystery there. This is a plain everyday word, a word that we use often. But let's look at context and how that changes the word hand. When you talk with people whose English is not their first language, you begin to understand and realize the nuances of the words and the phrases and the sentences we use. I walked by the office of a very good friend who just came from Pakistan. He was Pakistani, and he was unloading some boxes and moving some things around his office. And I walked in his office and I said, "Can I give you a hand?" Now, in this context, what is its meaning? Sure. Can I help you? Can I give you some assistance? But he looked at me with confusion and he said, "Tell me please what you mean by this." He never let me get away with it. I mean, if he didn't understand something, he stopped me. He says, "Tell me please what you mean by giving me a hand. In my country, it is getting your arm chopped off at the wrist for a major infraction. I don't think that's what you mean." So I said, no. In this context, can I help you? He says, "Oh, yes, you may give me a hand." And he put it into his memory banks. He's a very intelligent man. I think he's got like a couple of doctorate degrees. Well, he gave a presentation a couple weeks later in front of one of my classes, and it was a little bit esoteric, a little bit difficult to listen to because it had so much dense information. So by the time he was finished, I think some of my class had already gone, left the building. I mean, they were still sitting there, but I don't know where their minds were. So there was some silence, and so I stood up with my smile and I said, "Let's give him a hand, shall we?" Well, in that context, what does it mean? Yes, in that context, it means applause. So the entire class, understanding the context and what I meant by that, were applauding. But he leans over to me and he says to me, "Tell me, please, why all these people need to give me assistance. I only have one small folder." You see, in that context, the word took on an entirely different meaning. Think about it and develop meaning related to not only what you want to say, but what the person listening hears. It can be different.